Stop wasting time right now. I want to share the 7 habits I eliminated to transform from financial struggle to building serious wealth. Whenever younger people see me in my cars, they're always asking, "What's your secret?" Here's what I always tell them. It's not about what I'm doing, it's about what I've stopped doing. Let me start with number 1. Cut out people who drain you emotionally. I call them emotional leeches. There's this mentor early in my career who seemed really invested in my success. But over time, I started noticing a pattern. She'd only reach out when she needed a favor or wanted me to help with her projects. When I got promoted, crickets. When I was dealing with personal stuff, she was nowhere to be found. The only time she'd contact me was when she had something she needed from me or when she was venting about her own problems. And that's when I realized, this isn't what mentorship looks like. So I stopped making myself available. I set boundaries. One day, I really thought about it and asked myself, what should a real mentor or close relationship look like? And I came up with a completely different picture. But I'd convinced myself that loyalty meant staying connected no matter what. That's crazy thinking. Invest your time in people who want the best for you, not people who want something from you. There are plenty of people out there. If they're not celebrating your wins and they're not there when things get tough, they don't deserve your energy. That's why I do what I call a friend audit. You need to evaluate who's in your circle and remove the people who don't believe in your goals. If they're making it harder for you to succeed, why would you keep them around? Here's the beautiful part though. When you say no to someone, you're actually saying yes to someone new. You open up space in your life for people who will lift you up and help you move forward. Here's how I think about it. The energy you carry today becomes the life you live tomorrow. So I protect my energy like it's my most valuable asset. If you want real change in your life, you have to shift your energy. You have to show up differently, more hopeful, more positive, more ready to seize opportunities. That's how transformation happens. And let me be real with you, your surroundings shape who you become. Think about this. You could be the most optimistic person alive, but put me in a freezer and I'm going to freeze. Your environment controls your internal state, not your mindset alone. This is why you absolutely have to evaluate the people around you. If you seriously want to stop letting life pass you by, step 1 is eliminating the people who are draining your energy. Which brings us to number 2. Don't ask for direction from people who haven't walked the path you're trying to take. I'll have people come up to me at networking events. They see what I've built, and they want to give me pointers on how to grow my business. And I look at them respectfully, but I'm thinking to myself, if I follow your strategy, will I end up where you are? Because I'm not trying to be where you're at. You have to be selective about who you take lessons from. Here's my operating principle. I don't take financial advice from someone drowning in debt. I don't take marketing advice from someone with no customers. I don't take relationship advice from someone who's never been in a healthy partnership. You've got to choose your teachers wisely. This is where most people mess up. They don't know anyone else who's accomplished what they want. So when they face a major decision, they automatically turn to their parents or their closest friends. But here's the problem with that strategy. If your parents haven't achieved the thing you're chasing, they're going to give you the advice that got them to where they are. And if that's not where you want to end up, you're just going to end up exactly where they ended up. If you want to build a tech company, go find someone who's actually built one. Don't ask the person who's been working at the same job for 30 years. Surround yourself with people who have what you want, and don't be afraid to ask them how they got there. Success leaves breadcrumbs. If you know how to ask the right questions, you can follow that trail. The same applies to your friends, your colleagues, your boss. If the person hasn't achieved what you're trying to achieve, if you don't respect where they're at in that area of life, then don't take their words as gospel. And that brings us to number 3. Stop blaming everyone else and start taking ownership of your life. I used to blame everyone for everything. Anytime something went wrong, it was somebody else's fault. Didn't land the client? It's because they didn't like me. Missed my flight? The Uber driver took too long. But here's what I finally understood. I was the one making the calls. I was the one behind the wheel. I was the one who could have left earlier. And when I blamed other people, I gave away all my power. The truth is, I can't control what happens to me, but I can control how I respond. Your ability to manage your emotions, to stay calm under pressure, that's the #1 predictor of success in life. If someone can easily upset you, if they can push your buttons, then they control you, and you won't be able to shape the outcomes you want. There's this quote I love: "We're not creatures of circumstance, we're creators of circumstance." We control our reality. The world isn't what it is, the world is what we are. If your internal state is strong, then everything external either feels great or feels manageable. If you want to stop wasting your life, taking responsibility for everything in it is what gives you the power to change it. Which brings us to number 4. Don't say yes to every single thing that comes your way. When I was starting out, I said yes to everything. I was terrified if I turned something down, I'd miss my shot, because I didn't have much else happening. But what actually happened was I said yes to so many things that I couldn't execute on any of them. Everything I committed to got done poorly. People got frustrated with me, and I realized that saying yes is the easy part. Saying no is hard. A person who never says no, I don't trust their yes, because eventually they're going to let me down. Think of your time and energy like a backpack. Keep adding more items without removing anything, and it becomes impossible to carry. You only say yes to things that align with your actual vision. Saying no to a cool opportunity today means saying yes to your real dreams. If you haven't had massive success yet, pick one thing and commit to it for a decade. Go all in. Put your head down, say no to everything else. Be obsessed. Be the sharpest version of yourself at that one thing. Trust the process. If you want to stop wasting your life, saying no is how you stay focused. Which brings us to number 5. Don't let your phone control you. I was in a coffee shop recently working on a major project. I watched this entrepreneur sitting across from me. She kept opening her laptop like she was about to dive in, then her phone would buzz. Then another notification. Then another. After about an hour, she packed up her laptop. Nothing got done. And I realized why that happens. Most people don't have a clear direction for where they're headed. They haven't built something worth protecting their time for. Think of your attention like currency. It's the most valuable thing you have. Turn off every single notification right now. That red badge on your screen, it's not worth your focus. If you're constantly distracted by your phone, your life just isn't compelling enough yet. So go create a real plan. Build a vision so exciting that scrolling through social media feels like a waste by comparison. Schedule things, put commitments in your calendar. Better yet, make plans with other people. You're way less likely to skip the gym if you're meeting your business partner there. The simplest thing you can do is silence all your notifications. That's how you get your life back. Which brings us to number 6. Don't just read books, study them. Early on, I was obsessed with reading. I'd grab every book people recommended and tear through them. Speed reading. No notes, no highlights, no real engagement. I was just reading to say I finished it. But then I figured out the real value in a book isn't the information sitting on the pages. It's what you actually do with it. It's the application, the execution, the action you take. So I developed what I call the JFDI muscle. Just freaking do it. The moment I read something actionable, I go implement it. Even better, I started sharing what I was learning with my team, because when you know you're going to teach something to someone else, you read completely differently. You actually absorb it deeply. Most of us already know what we should be doing. We read the book, but did you actually do the things in it? Figure out where you're stuck in life, and only read books that unlock the next skill you need. I call it just in time, not just in case. Someone recommends a book, I buy it and queue it up. Then, when I actually face that problem, I go study it. Stop consuming content just to feel like you're making progress. Stop getting a book to put on a shelf and brag about. If you're not taking action on what you're learning, then stop. Study with intention. Execute. If you want to stop wasting your life, apply what you learn immediately. Which brings us to number 7. Stop comparing yourself to anyone but yourself. I used to compare myself constantly. People my age, people in my industry, people doing better than me. All it did was make me feel inadequate. I felt behind, like I wasn't moving fast enough, like I wasn't thinking big enough. I convinced myself I wasn't worthy of attention or opportunity. But then it hit me. The only person I'm actually competing against is me from yesterday. Me from last year. I don't have anyone else's brain. I don't have their body. I don't have their relationships or their circumstances. But they don't have mine either. The only thing I can control is asking myself, am I getting better? Am I focused on what I can actually control? If you get 1% better every single day, that compounds into something massive over a year, over a decade. Comparing yourself to someone else just steals your confidence. Why would you compare your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 27? I've been building for 27 years. If you're just starting out, 6 months or a year in, why are you measuring yourself against me? You actually have access to more resources than I did. You should be way further along than I was at your stage. The real superpower is just being yourself. It's the most unique thing you have. Everything you're insecure about, that's what makes you stand out. Your perspective, your style, the way you communicate. You might think it's not impressive, but if you lean into it, that's what makes you unforgettable. Trying to be someone else just steals all the potential of what makes you different. We live in a world that rewards authenticity and uniqueness, so take advantage of that. Those are the 7 critical habits I eliminated to stop wasting my life. Please consider subscribing and clicking the notification bell. Thanks for watching.